I'm Florian, your host for Florian's Weather Coverage. Today we're going to be talking about two storms. We're sort of going to get in depth, but I think today we're going to be focusing more on the severe weather of the first storm, and then we're going to be focusing a little more on the second storm that could move through and how that's going to impact the Northeast. And then we're going to, at the end, talk about the Southeast Florida could see some severe weather, including severe thunderstorms next Thursday. Of course, that's so far out to know exactly what's happening, but a lot of the models are showing it, so I think it's worth talking about. So first of all, we're here on the continental United States map. These are watches, warnings, and advisories. As you can see right here, we have flood watches and warnings. These right here are red flag warnings, which means that it is dry and there's high winds causing the potential for, if something were to be ignited, a wildfire to happen. Obviously not large because it's not that time of year yet, but it is possible. Right here we've got winter weather advisories, winter storm watches, another winter storm watch, and this is again winter weather advisories, and a few winter weather advisories up here in Maine because of a system that is currently moving through or has moved through, depending on where in the Northeast you are. Most likely you got about 2 inches of snow if you are north of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. Now let's focus on the Storm Prediction Center. These are the best meteorologists in the entire world, especially in severe weather, tornado, hail, and severe thunderstorm wind. So first of all, we're going to look at the day 3. So this is valid for Saturday morning through Sunday morning this weekend. So we have a 15% chance right here of severe thunderstorms occurring within 25 miles of any given location, which is on a category of 1 to 5. I think the scale is 1 to 5. It is a 2, and this screen is right here a scale 1. This means there's a 5% chance of a severe thunderstorm within 25 miles of any given location. Another thing to look at is the day 4. So this is for Sunday morning through Monday morning. There's a probability for severe thunderstorms here, 15% chance within any given location, and I do believe that tomorrow we will have another for Monday morning through Tuesday morning. I do believe we will get another area right around Alabama and Tennessee and maybe even parts of Georgia. We'll have to see what happens there. Okay, now to look at, this is the NAM 3-kilometer model. This is what the radar could look like in the next 60 hours. As you can see, this information is from around 1 a.m. Because the models don't always update, so it's a little laggy behind. Time and date will always be right here. If it doesn't say 1 a.m., that means it's in United Central Time, which is 5 hours ahead of Northeast. It depends kind of which model we're looking at. But for this model, it's going to be 1 a.m. Eastern Time. As you can see, this moves through and it'll be completely gone by 8 a.m. I'm filming this at about 6:30. So right now, it's just moving out of Maine and Cape Cod, has mostly rain except for parts of Maine. And as you can see right here, we've got this system moving through. This is, I think, what's causing those winter weather advisories. And that'll move through, and then we start to see, this sort of rotation right here. If you see, I go back and come forth, it's kind of rotating here. This is going to be the main cause for our new system that's going to be moving through like this, causing severe weather in these areas and lots of snow up here. We are not going to talk about this snow that much today because it's really only impacting this area right here, parts of North Dakota. It's maybe even northeast Wyoming, but we'll have to see on that. It's really unpredictable what these do. And then if you look at the last frame, you can kind of see this coming together. We've got a little bit of ice. Could be dangerous. It's not going to be extreme icing, but it could be dangerous. Some snow here in Canada, and this is just going to move straight into Canada. And looking at the more long-range models, as you can see, the system comes together. Has rain for the most of the United States, a little bit of back-end snow right here, some snow for southeastern Canada, and that then moves up and out. For the Northeast, you're really, unless you live in far North Maine, I do not think anything much is going to be happening here. But what we really have to watch is this precipitation down here. Then what we're going to focus on today too is this system right here. This first system has rained a lot, as you can obviously see. It has a lot of rain, and I think this could possibly top off that rain, causing some isolated to maybe even widespread flooding. We'll have to see what this first system does. It really all depends on that, because we know this is going to drop a lot of rain. It really just matters how much the first system drops. We're also going to be talking about, is it possible that New York City and Boston get some snow here? It is possible, but as of now, it's looking unlikely. None of the models are actually showing it. They're showing pretty much like cold 40-50 degree rain up there. As this then moves through, we have a third system that forms. So we're not going to focus on this today because it's very unpredictable, but this could possibly bring some snow. And this is also what's going to be causing our severe weather threat down here in Florida that we'll be talking about near the end. Now let's move on to the GFS model. This is the global forecasting system by the United States Meteorological Administration. It is third place, in my opinion, in the models. So it's still reliable, but it's the less reliable of the three most reliable, if you get what I'm saying. So it's basically some snow here. Definitely not as much snow. Probably widespread half a foot if you're lucky, maybe a foot. Some icing going on. Moves through, looks sort of the same, not much, but what the GFS does a little differently. It has a little more sleet on the second system instead of snow. Boston's still getting rain, New York City's still getting rain, and then it does also have that third system, but that third system looks a little different. It kind of, you can see it down here. It kind of stalls out here and then waits for this next system to pick it up, and this creates a big system. This is where we could possibly look at a severe weather threat more on the East Coast. So I'm not going to say anything because it's 220 hours out, very unreliable, but I'm just saying it is possible we start to get into the severe weather phase for places that have been worrying about snow for now. And this is the second most reliable model, the Canadian model. In my opinion, it's the most reliable, but a lot of people say the Euro is more reliable, so I'm just going to go with that. As you can see, it has a little more snow. It completely misses the Northeast, the first system. But then the second system, as you can see, the GDPS is much more north. It shows only the top parts of New York City, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, all these states, just the very top parts are going to be getting snow. And then it does not actually want to go out that far, but if you look at an earlier run, it does again have that system, but it looks a lot more like the GFS. It will still carry that severe weather threat, but it looks more like the GFS, which means it's too far out to actually know. The Euro is the only one who's showing it next Thursday. And I'm not just going to show you guys this without talking the science behind this. So what's really important to know is this is basically energy in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. This is called the 500 millibar level. This is for 1 p.m. Friday. You can really see the 500 millibar level, by the way, is about, I think it's 20,000 to 30,000 feet above our head. This is where most systems are formed and where most of the energy is. So as you can see, we have our first energy for storm right here. For our first storm, that moves on up. And then our second storm comes through, which will be a little lower. And then our third storm, it's literally a parade of storms. And then our fourth storm could be moving through here. And the fourth storm could maybe be that severe weather threat for the East Coast. And taking a look at, now we're going to focus on the severe weather because, like I said, the snow isn't going to be very impactful. So this is the first system, by the way. We're going to talk about the Florida system later. So as you can see right here, this is the kinetic. This is basically the probability of a thunderstorm in a number. Now, if this is not telling you there's going to be a thunderstorm. It says if joined with the right ingredients, there could be thunderstorms. And the right ingredients are in this area. The right ingredients are present. That means that if there's a high number, which is around 40 of this, that means that there's a good likelihood of storms forming. So as you can see right here, we've got this it sort of looks like a derecho. I think this is really not going to be as much of a tornado threat. I think this is going to be more of a damaging wind threat. As you can see, that moves through. And then at the end, you can see sort of it starting to ramp up here. That's what I'm going to show you in a second. But first, we need to look at the convective available potential energy. If you don't have any of this, then you can't see storms. And oh my goodness, look at that. We actually do have CAPE, even possibly thousands, maybe reaching 1,500 joules per kilogram of atmospheric air of CAPE. But as you can see, that CAPE is starting to join here. And this down here is where I think we might actually have more of a severe weather threat than we do up here, because up here we just don't have enough moisture. And an important thing to look at here is the instantaneous flash rate. This is basically lightning flashes. At any given time, how many lightning flashes will there be? And you can see this purple right here. This is really dense lightning, a lot of lightning happening over there. It's going to be really, this is a main indicator of severe thunderstorms. As you can see, that moves through and becomes this sort of line. That means that, thank God, we won't have many tornadoes. We might have a few embedded into the line, but we're going to be focusing more on damaging winds up here, which is never underestimate damaging winds. And what we're really worrying about is this is around Sunday evening into Monday morning. You see we have this lightning really ramping up, and we have a line of just extreme lightning, just like going this entire way. And then where I really think this still looks like a line to me with maybe some supercells, but over here this turns more into just scattered thunderstorms, which is really much more threatening than a line of thunderstorms, because you really have larger potential for those tornadoes. And this is what I like to call tornado juice, or I got that from somebody else on YouTube, but basically this is the winds in the lower levels of the atmosphere, so about 4,000 to 5,000 feet above your head. This is, when you see this red, that means that there's enough twisting and turning in the atmosphere to actually cause like a tornado or damaging winds. As you can see up here, we have plenty of this low-level winds up here for this threat, and that is why I think high low-level winds and high upper-level winds joined with lower moisture usually means a line of thunderstorms, whereas down here we actually have high moisture with high low-level and upper-level winds, which really is concerning, because that means we could have some more supercells. Then right here, I just want to show you, this is the dew point, which is moisture. As you can see what I'm talking about, there's not as much moisture up here, but when you really get into severe weather, you can see there's this huge pocket of moisture here. It's not extremely moist, but it's much moister than it was up there. And this is why I think we could have a supercell problem down here. And then I want to, after talking about these storms, I want to focus on the future, basically. So what happens after all these storms move through? This is the areas between, so like the areas right here, like between the deep red and the deep like bluer greenish, that is where storms tend to form. And as you can see, going into the future, this is around Saturday, this is around end of March. Obviously, this is not exact, but this is basically what could happen. You see these green things starting to move, a few of these starting to move into the eastern U.S. As you can see here, this means we could have the potential for another big, like East Coast, what's it called? East Coast snow event. And it could actually be a big, like not as big as the one we had earlier this year, but it could drop a good foot of snow. Obviously, we don't know a lot about this yet because it's too far out into the future, but we're definitely monitoring. This is just another model, and it shows those same exact things right there. It shows these bowling balls that are moving down, and I think this could be the potential for either heavy rain or heavy snow. Then we're going to go more in depth. This is the second system. This is the system that I was talking about that could bring some snow. Most likely won't bring snow, but could bring it. This is the Euro model. As said, it kind of has basically the border of Massachusetts, the northern border of Massachusetts, is the border of winter weather from rain. Obviously, this could trend south or north. We just don't know what's going to happen with it yet. But I do think Boston, New York City are going to miss out on that snow. It's just going to be kind of a cold rain. And just that this next model proves my point even better. This is the Canadian model. It has that snow even higher. I just don't think this is going to be a big system. It could trend, but I just don't think it's going to be that big of a system. Now we're going to talk about the storm that could be possibly next Thursday for Florida. As you can see, this is the lightning flashes. As you can see, there's a lot of lightning going on. It kind of moves down. It kind of ends up dissipating, but then Friday it kind of gets its act back together and sort of moves through, causing widespread lightning across Florida. We are very far out from this. It's next Thursday and Friday. We'll definitely be talking about this in future videos. So anyone in Florida, please keep up to date because this could be dangerous because Florida does have a lot of moisture and convective available potential energy. So any thunderstorm in Florida does have the possibility to become severe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please slap that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you have any ideas or just want to say something, put it down in the comments below. I appreciate the support so much, and I'll have a video for you guys tomorrow. Bye!